Good day, everyone. I am Dr. Robert Liana Bisamis, and I will be lecturing on genetic diseases. So here are a few disclaimers prior to my presentation. And important reminders, this lecture is based on the new edition of the Robinson-Cotran's Pathologic Basis of Disease, the 10th edition, which was released back in June to July 2020. Images from this textbook images from this presentation are coming from the textbook unless stated otherwise. Also, you can download the PDF version of this lecture in your Moodle. So to begin with, genetic diseases are far more common than we appreciate them. In fact, around 50% of your spontaneous abortus, yung mga expectant mothers na biglang nakunan, likely they have a chromosomal abnormality present. However, here in the Philippines, we don't detect them usually because medyo mahal magpa-check ng chromosomal abnormalities. Kaya mostly undiagnosed yung mga kung bakit na nakukunan yung isang mother. Majority of the discoveries described in this lecture and in modern medicine in general is due to the advances in DNA sequencing, which we will be briefly discussing at the end of this lecture. Around 1% of all newborns have a gross chromosomal abnormality, and 5% of those in less than 25 years of age will have a serious disease with a genetic component. So, what are the types of disorders when we talk about genetic diseases? There are three. The first is you have mutations in single genes with large effects, usually of Mendelian inheritance. The second one are your chromosomal disorders. And the third one are complex multigenic disorders. So when we talk about complex multigenic disorders, you may see them as polymorphism. So they are variations of genes common in the population. For example, are your eye color, your height, intelligence, etc. Those are based from polymorphisms. However, if we're talking about polymorphisms in the context of disease, it could be that there are a lot of these polymorphisms contributing to a multifactorial disease. So, gene and environment, tapos dun sa genes, napakadaming genes pa involved contributing to that disease. We'll get into that when we deal with complex multigenic disorders later. So, to begin with, what are mutations? These are permanent changes in your DNA. If the mutation are in germ cells, it means that you can be passed on to your children. If they are in somatic cells, there are no hereditary disease, but these are mutations usually seen when we are dealing with cancers and other congenital malformations. So let's just review some general principles regarding mutations. If they are point mutations within coding sequences, they may replace the amino acids and they will cause a missense mutation. There are two types of missense mutations. One is the conservative missense mutation. So the change in amino acid causes little change in the protein function. So if you will remember, such as in this image here, the norm it could be that yung normal na amino acid na nucleotide is your TTC, pero nagkaroon ng mutation sa naging TTT instead. However, both of which will encode lysine, so there is no change in protein function. And therefore, the mutation does not make any changes naman talaga dun sa overall protein na ginagawa. However, ang problematic would be your non-conservative missense mutations, which will change the mutation into a biochemically different function. Yung protein mo completely magbabago. For example, ito nga si TTC, yung normal natin. Pag nagkaroon ka ng non-conservative na mutation over here, TGC na siya, it will become threonine. So ibang function na siya. Also, you can have another type of conservative mutation in which ang na-encode is TCC, which is arginine, pero does not make any changes sa protein function. Okay lang naman yun. As long as the protein function remains the same, walang pagbabago sa physiology ng protein na ginawa. Ang isang pang type of mutation is your nonsense mutation in which the codon changes to a stop codon. And if you remember your biochemistry, kapag na-encode mo ay stop, it means that the protein is now truncated. Naging mas maiksi siya because it has turned into a stop codon. The reverse is otherwise. Pwede rin na instead of a stop codon, yung mutation, yung dapat na ini-encode mo, nagkaroon ka ng mutation that will make the protein extend naman instead. Now, how about mutations within non-coding sequences? So, if you remember your biochemistry, in the conversion from your DNA to your RNA, then eventually into your proteins, di ba tinatanggal yung mga introns, yun yung mga non-coding parts. Yung exons, yun lang ang kinocode into protein. However, you can have mutations in your introns also, and that would cause more changes to sa final protein na kalalabasan. So, what ang example dyan would be your thalassemia, kung saan meron kang interference with the binding of your transcription factors because of changes in your introns. How about deletions and insertions? Depende yan kung ang tinanggal mo or dinagdag are in multiples of 3. If they are in a multiple of 3, the reading frame becomes intact. Is still intact pala. However, kapag isa lang or dalawa yung natanggal, it may cause a frame shift mutation. You may have experienced this when you were taking yung Scantron exams back when we were doing face-to-face examinations. Noong nagtatranscribe ka from your questionnaire to your Scantron, may na-miss kang isang number, nag-shift tuloy lahat ng sagot mo, lahat mali ka na. So, ganoon lang yun. Ang same concept will apply for deletions and insertions. How about trinucleotide repeat mutations? So, this time, the mutations will amplify a sequence of 3 nucleotides. So, almost all of the sequences dun sa 3 nucleotides yun will contain either guanine or cytosine. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Normally, there are some parts of your gene that will have around 50 na pare-pareho, ganyan. Normal yon. However, in conditions such as your Huntington's or your Fragile X syndrome, you will have a lot of repeats, around 250 to 4,000 tandem repeats of CGG within your FMR1 gene. So if you can, as you can see here, the normal is 29. So nagiging sobrang haba niya, and that is the one causing damage in your gene. There are also non-classic patterns of inheritance. So, as I mentioned kanina, yun, kasama dyan yung trinucleotide repeat mutations. Medyo weird siya, yung kung paano yung inheritance na yun, we'll discuss later. The second one is your mutations in mitochondrial DNA. Medyo iba kasi ang rules doon in inheritance in mitochondrial DNA. And then you have transmission influenced by genome imprinting or gonadal mosaicism. So before we delve more into the diseases, we have to define some things. So when we say hereditary disorders, these are disorders that are derived from one's parents and are transmitted in the germline. Therefore, it is a familial disease. If when you say something that a disease is congenital, it means that you are born with disease. So ang sinasabi nito is not all familial or not all familial diseases are congenital, not all congenital diseases are genetic in nature. What do you mean by this? Medyo confusing siya. So ibig sabihin nun, you can inherit some diseases pero hindi ka necessarily born with a disease like Huntington's. In Huntington's kasi ang nangyayari, you inherit the disease, so familial siya. Pero the manifestation of the disease is around at the age of 40s and above. So hindi siya congenital in nature. The reverse is also true. Patients with osteogenesis imperfecta, they are born with that disease, so it is congenital. However, they do not necessarily inherit the the problematic gene from the parents per se. Bigla pwedeng nagkaroon siya ng mutation during gametogenesis, or pwede rin sa parents. So it can be familiar or not. Up next, we'll be discussing the different Mendelian disorders.